It was 2022. I was just turning 15. I was sitting right here in this room, and yeah, I hated my life. There was nothing I could just do. It was either play video games, go jack off, or just sit and watch YouTube. Nothing. One of those things, though, got me out of it. I was watching YouTube, scrolling. Yes, yeah, I used to. Jesus. And then certain people started to pop up. The Tate brothers, Hamza, another like self-improvement YouTubers, so I gave him a listen. And what I found out is that I could actually improve my life. That I wasn't stuck just being in this nihilistic place which had no end, no meaning, no nothing. And yeah, gave him a listen. Fast forward about 3 months, got a girlfriend, started the gym, life was going good. All of them, though, keep on saying it's hard, it should be hard, and you should keep on pushing. So I did. I kept on pushing. I used discipline and just kept on adding and adding and adding. About a year later, got into high school. Everything was going great. I was lifting, I started even martial arts, and I was adding more shit. Still. Then, a year later, my health just went out. I got totally sick, and yeah, I was wondering why. I listened to the doctors somewhat. I knew they like studied all this shit, and yeah, they told me to slow down, to rest, to relax. No, like all of the gurus told you to do harder, be just more disciplined. So I did exactly that. I became even more disciplined. I started to do more shit. And what happened was that I sick again. The doctors told me the same thing. I tried to like improve my health, start eating vitamins, improve my diet, all these things, but I keep on pushing. And what happened was that I was sick again a month later. This cycle repeated for about a year. Then I got an operation and I had to rest because otherwise I would literally choke on my own blood. And then it came to me like rest isn't actually like that bad. Of course, it's productive because you have to rest at some point. Even in the gym, you can't just go there and do like biceps forever. You have to rest at some point. And there's some like sessions you have to do, not just go there and do them infinitely. Otherwise, I'll be there and my biceps will be huge. The thing I'm trying to make is you're probably doing too much and you have to learn how to do less, how to perhaps rest, how to do less. All of the gurus, all of the people, all of the self improvement influencers, all of them tell you to do more, to do things when they're hard, to keep on pushing when they're the hardest, because at some point the light will come. But what I'm trying to make here, if you keep on listening to them, then you'll probably end like me. Just doing productive things 18 hours a day, like 7 days a week, with no rest day, always doing something. And then your health will catch up. So, instead of doing 18 hours 7 days a week, you can do perhaps, I don't know, six times a week. It seems like too little, but when you actually think about it, it's 4 sessions every day. And this is the maximum. Like you can't do, or you shouldn't do. You can do, of course, but it's not going to be effective any more than that. The reason why I just did all the things and got nowhere, and why my health gave up, was because I was doing things that weren't as important. And the important things are where the actual growth is at. It's like if you were to go to the gym, and instead of like actually lifting weights, which is like the 80-20, you started to focus on diet, on sleep, on just other things, on stretching, on mobility. Of course you would get some gains, but it will be like just a little tiny bit, like 20%. But instead, if you were just sleeping worse, instead of just sleeping like 12 hours a day, you slept 8. Instead of having the perfect, like balanced diet, everything just It's like perfect. Every macronutrient, everything, calories. You just ate things you liked, ate things you just knew are somewhat good, but didn't overthink it. And instead of it, you just go to the gym, lift weights 3 times a week, and yeah, you'd get more. So, don't do the same mistake as I did, which is try to optimize everything. Just do 80-20 thing. The thing that gets you the most result, which in martial arts is sparring or just going to training. In gym is training. In business is just depends on the business. No, actually, in YouTube it will be recording, scripting, and editing. That's like all of it. And you do that. You do that like 3 times a week. Why so? Why so little? 3 times a week. That's little. It's like you can do like a lot more. You have like a lot more time. But 3 times a week is actually the point where the diminishing returns don't kick in. You do 3 times a week, and you probably want to do more. And that's exactly the point. You wanting to do more is actually a good thing because it gets your emotions engaged. And once they're engaged, then you'll actually do better. Since your emotions are engaged, you'll emotionally invested, for lack of a better word, you do better. Just your quality of things is better. And the thing about like quality versus quantity is it doesn't really matter. The thing that matters is like leverage. It's the time you're doing things times by leverage is the actual output. But if you do low leverage things, just like replying to comments or studying the best possible exact movement pattern or just the technique, then if you do that for a long enough time, it can actually catch up to like doing the high leverage thing, though it isn't most effective. So the actual thing of doing things is just find the most effective things, the highest leverage, the 80-20, the Pareto principle, and just do more of it. Which is like brain numbing. Like, yeah, of course. I didn't know it. So I'm just trying to educate you to learn from my mistakes. So instead of me grinding all this time, all day, the actual schedule I'm on, which is like extremely productive, is about 6 hours a day of productivity maximum. Other than that, it's just empty space. And productive time can be anything from learning, like reading a book, to training in the gym, sparring, doing this. And that's all of it. You can do just 6 hours a day of productivity. Why 6 hours? As I said, it's too little, or it seems at least, it's the perfect amount. Once it goes above, the quality of it starts to dip down, and yeah, you start to do like silly shit. 6 hours also means that you have like 4 deep work sessions, which are 90-minute blocks, which means you could, in theory, do like 4 different things, or one thing for 6 hours straight. Which, yeah. As I said, quality is the thing, not quantity. How to increase your quality, the leverage, and all these things? Well, it's about focus. The more you focus, the better it is, the more high leverage you have. Once the leverage is high enough, you actually start to move things. So, that was a good one. So, how would you set up a session? Instead of just going in blind and figuring out the spot and wasting the 90 minutes you have, I would just set it up in the free time. Like every day before you go to sleep, you set up the thing, the next day, everything what you're going to do, and then the next day you're just gonna do it. You're gonna do it for an hour and a half, and then it's finished. The next day. This turns something in you. It makes you think and just do the things with a little more intent because you have a window, and once you miss it, it's gone. You won't get it. And if you miss enough of them, you won't make it. It increases the leverage because you're emotionally just invested. So, let me repeat that. Instead of doing 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, do 6 and 6. 6 hours a day, 6 times a week. Each session should be filled with the 80-20, the highest leverage thing. And your goal should be to find the highest leverage thing, to increase the leverage by focusing, to having a good diet, just other things. Though not going into the other extreme where you do the 20% of things that give you like no result. Once you do, just repeat that